Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and this is your tip of the week. This particular tip is requested by a viewer, and I had not really thought about it before, but I thought it was an excellent question. She wanted to know, how do you store your bobbins? Here is how I currently store my bobbins, and they're stored in cases like this. So let me get them open for you. Now in this one, I've got all these strings hanging. The problem with these cases is that when you go to take one bobbin out, if there's a tail of thread from the other bobbin, it pulls it all out. So you have to constantly keep winding the thread on here to keep them nice and neat. So I decided to go out and do a search to see what other types of options there are. So I went on Amazon, so I'm now going to show you what I found. So I found these little bobbin guards is what I call them. So all you do is just slip them on and they will prevent your thread from coming undone. I don't like my bobbins hanging loose, so I still want to be able to put it in my case here. So first I put the open side down. It doesn't go all the way down. I turned it the other way. It doesn't go all the way down. And when I try to put the lid of the bobbin container on, it doesn't close all the way. So if you have a lot of bobbins, those little guards are helpful in keeping them from unwinding. But when I'm looking for a bobbin, I want to just look right straight down so I can scan my case and see where my color is in the case. So in my current storage that I'm doing, there is a design flaw in this case design, and that is the lid comes completely off, and I don't like that. I wish it would just snap on and that the lid was on a hinge. While I was at Walmart, I decided to look for something very economical to put around the bobbins to keep it from unwinding. Now these are little rubber bands to tie their hair back. The problem with these is that they're really skinny and narrow, and they also can be a little difficult for me to put on, but I did get them on. Okay, but they don't come real snug into the bobbin, and as you can see, they kind of stick up at the top. So this little idea of mine is a complete wash. Not a good idea. I tried using these large rubber bands and I wrapped them around all my different size spools of thread. It was real easy for me to put on and a very economical investment. The only downside to any kind of rubber band product is that over time they do wear out, so you have to be aware of that. While I was looking for a solution to my bobbin storage, I ran across this little package of, I don't know what you would call these, but they help to prevent the thread from unraveling off your spools, which is a very big issue. I'm sure we all have experienced that. So how this works is you open it up and you wrap it around this. Now this is a little challenging for me, but I was able to do it. And so it really works very well. Your thread does not unravel anymore. Now, you can put them on this size. This is a spool of quilting thread, and it was a little harder to get it on there. It doesn't go all the way around, but it'll still prevent the thread from unraveling. This is my serger thread, and I tried putting it around there. It was challenging too. It still keeps the thread from unraveling. I'm sure you've pulled out a spool of thread and you know you have a bobbin with that same thread on it, and you're scrambling trying to find it to match it up again. So here is a possible solution for you to solve that problem. This is a tool that you can use to keep your bobbin and the spool of thread together. So how this works is you insert it in the center hole of your bobbin. Now this is a bobbin from my Viking sewing machine. This is a bobbin from my Baby Lock. And when I tried to push it in, it was a little hard. And then when I got it up there, it went up there. But when I went to get it off, I couldn't get it off. Because of a hand issue, it's a little more difficult. And then here's the one from the Baby Lock. It goes on pretty good too, a little easier. And I got it up, but when I went to get it off, I couldn't. But if you have two good working hands, it'll probably work okay for you. This is a standard spool of thread, and I've got that little plastic wrap around it. And then this is embroidery thread. And on this one I used the rubber band technique that I showed you earlier. This is a spool of sewing machine quilting thread, and this is serger thread. So when I went to use this on the normal, your standard size spool of polyester thread, it goes in real nice. It holds that bobbin in place and it will not fall out. Now, here is my embroidery thread. So if I put it in, it goes in. It's not as snug of a tight as this one, but it doesn't fall out, which is the whole point of it. But when I go to put it in my quilting thread, you can see it's got a really large hole. Well, it doesn't hold it in tight at all. It just falls right out. And the same problem with my serger thread, it just falls right out. Now, if you want to get these, you can get it all in one package, and you can find them on Amazon. So just go to the Arts, Sewing, and Crafts section in Amazon and just enter either sewing bobbin storage or sewing machine bobbin storage, and you will see all kinds of options appear. If you have a lot of serger thread and you don't have the space for a wall rack, and I'll show you what that is in a moment, then here is a suggestion for storing these large spools of thread. This is one of those plastic shoe boxes, and this is how I used to store my serger thread, because at the time I didn't have a wall rack to put them on. So how I did it, you can get a lot of serger thread in here. I have the skinny side down on one, and then I'll have the fat side up on another, and I just keep kind of doing every other one till I can get everything squeezed in there. So look how much serger thread this little shoe box holds. Now I prefer this next method for storing my serger thread. Now these are thread storage racks, and you can buy them at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. You can also find them on Amazon.com and many other sewing supply websites. So they have these little dowels on here, and this is the shorter dowels. I use this for my embroidery thread and my smaller spools of thread, or standard spools of thread. Then they also have racks with really long dowels on them, and that's what I store my larger spools of thread, like my serger thread and my sewing machine quilting thread. So I've shown you a lot of different solutions for storing your bobbins and your thread. So you're going to have to decide what's going to work for you. But my top picks that work really well for me, I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to continue to use my bobbin case. I found those little bobbin guards were a little bit difficult for me to put on and take off, so I'm just going to stick with this because this works the best for me. And I really like the idea of the rubber bands. They were really easy for me to put on, and they are a lot more economical. I hope this tip of the week was helpful to you. If you are interested in other tips of the week, I have many of them. You want to scroll down to the description section and expand it open. So click on either Show More or the down arrow, and it will expand it open. And if you're interested in beginner sewing projects, I will have some links listed down there also. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.